Hi everybody, it's Dandruff with your news Cartridge for Friday, March 24th, 2017. Happy Friday to everyone, and I've got a great show for you today. And you know how it's going to be a great show? Because I have not one, not two, but three free game trials. Starting with Street Fighter V, which Capcom is offering a week-long trial starting Tuesday, March 28th, lasting until Monday, April 3rd. And then on Steam over this weekend, both Killing Floor 2 and Football Manager 2017 are playable until Monday, and both can be purchased with a discount. Moving on to release announcements, Salt and Sanctuary is getting a PS Vita release and will be here next week on Tuesday, March 28th. Titanfall 2's next free DLC is called Colony Reborn, and it's coming next Thursday, March 30th, and will contain, among other things, a remake of the Colony map from the original Titanfall. For Honor has been updated to version 1.04 for PC, PS4, and Xbox One, fixing general stability and some Xbox One specific features. In Blizzard news, and there's quite a bit of it today, Overwatch has been updated to version 2.08, which mostly brings changes to the newest hero, Orisa. Version 7.2 is coming to World of Warcraft, bringing a ton of new content, which you can find a link to the patch notes, along with links to other patch notes for other games in the description down below. Players in Europe are not happy because prices are being increased for some WoW services, like character transfer and faction change. The reason why people are upset is because if you've ever played WoW before, a paid feature like this is an automated process, so it really looks as though Blizzard is doing this solely for the purpose of increasing profits. On a lighter note, Blizzard has removed the Battle.net logo from their launcher and has replaced it with a basic Blizzard logo. Don't worry, you'll always be Battle.net to me. And finally for Blizzard news, remember how Jeff Kaplan really doesn't like meme videos about him? Here's one. Astronaut, a YouTuber, put out a video putting Kaplan's head on the top of Heavy from Team Fortress 2, saying that Jeff will be the next character releasing to Overwatch on April 31st. How do you transition? Nintendo has talked about Super Mario Run, saying that the game did not meet expectations in terms of sales. Even though it was downloaded over 40 million times, it was only bought by roughly 5% of those people. And while Nintendo is aware that Fire Emblem Heroes has a much more successful business model, they say they would rather implement the free-to-start option that Mario Run has to offer. For this next one, I have no idea what Australia is doing anymore in terms of how they rate and allow their games to be sold in retail stores. The short of it is, Outlast 2 will be releasing in Australia on April 26th for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. The long story is, the game was refused classification last week, meaning it could not be sold. However, today it has received classification of being rated 18+. The interesting thing is that nothing about the game had changed for the Australian government to change its mind. So, why the change of heart? No one knows. Outlast 2 releases to the rest of the world on April 25th. For some reason, my Wii U just turned on by itself. It's not related to anything. It literally just happened. I have no idea what the hell's going on. What are you doing, Nintendo? And, alright, to end the week, this may get a little muddy, but hopefully I don't piss off too many people. I mean, I know it's gonna happen, but I don't believe in taking cheap insult shots at people. I do, however, believe in logical, concise criticism and the occasional go fuck yourself. Alright, I just want to warn you that this is going to go everywhere, and I need to preface this with saying that I am neither a fan nor do I dislike JonTron, which probably tells you where this one's going to go. The game that I am looking forward to the most this year is Yooka-Laylee, which releases next month on April 11th. It stars a lovable chameleon and his bat friend in a brightly colored 3D platformer, which has been dubbed the spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie, and even has many people from the original company Rare working on the project. Yesterday, Platonic Games, the developer, decided to drop voice acting done by JonTron, a YouTuber with 3 million subs, from their game. Now, you think it would be crazy to drop something like voice acting 18 days from the game's launch, and for the most part, you would be correct. Now, just to be clear, I am not defending the things that JonTron said, which, if you aren't aware, is some pretty political stuff lately. Roughly 2 months ago, he appeared on a podcast with a YouTuber named Sargon of Akkad, where they talked about what many would consider very sensitive topics. Now, whether or not you agree with him or you disagree with the things he said, that is not for this channel. I am not going to discuss that sort of thing here. If you want to go discuss that somewhere else, there are plenty of other channels for it. I encourage you to do so. We are going to keep it to video games. That's my choice. If you want to watch the whole 5-hour podcast that he was in, there is a link to that in the description down below. So then the question is this the right move for Platonic? And while I do feel as though, yes, they are well within their rights as a company to do so, I'm not sure that this is a good move from a business standpoint. Again, I'm not defending JonTron. I will say, to be honest, that I do agree with him on some points, but on other points I was like, hey, don't forget other people are recording this. And that is because there were a lot of topics covered. It is a 5-hour video after all. Removing him from the game has spawned a ton of requests for refunds to Kickstarter contributions, which is where Yooka-Laylee got part of its funding. Remember, JonTron is a YouTuber with a gaming channel with 3 million subs. He has quite the influence. I would imagine that some of his fans bought the game just because he was in it. I don't know how big of a role he had, but that doesn't matter. Sometimes a line or two is enough to sell a game. The reason why I haven't brought this up until now is because I wanted to stay out of it, and I felt as though I could. But now it's directly affected a video game. I wanted to stay out of it because I think my views, both positive and negative, on the things that JonTron said, need to stay off of my channel. And again, that is my choice. I think the best place to end this is to say that everyone is allowed to have their own views and opinions, as well as express themselves appropriately. In that aspect, I will defend him completely. All he did was share his ideas in a video, which he has every right to do. But sometimes expressing those viewpoints can gain opportunities, and at the same time, lose them. So be careful of what you say and how you say it. If you would like to discuss this matter further, please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Once again, it's time for Monday's game releases, because I'm off for the next 2 days, because I've got to collect Korok seeds, because I need to increase my weapon slots. They only give you like 11. Are you kidding me, Nintendo? For PC, Microcons, Operation Abyss, New Tokyo Legacy, Uplands Motel, VR Thriller, Darwin's Bots, Episode 1, and Life's Forge, ORPG. Thank you very much, everybody. This has been News Cartridge. I am Dandruff. I will see you on Monday. And if I'm ever on life support, unplug me and then plug me back in. See if that works. That was a really, I don't know if that was a good joke or I don't know if that was a bad joke. This stupid joke. Unplug me and plug me back in. Restart me. Yeah, okay. So generally I talk about the latest subject right here, and I don't really want to. That JonTron thing is kind of a mixed bag, because there's stuff I agree with. There's stuff I don't agree with at all. I find abhorrent. But then there's other stuff where I'm like, again, it's a 5-hour video. You're not just going to be like cut and dry, you know. It's not like the PewDiePie thing that like, oh, we had a 10-minute video to watch the PewDiePie thing. They unrolled the message. Oh, no, God. Yeah, like, okay, yeah. No, this is a 5-hour discussion, of which he's in it for at least 4.5 hours. And I'm only like halfway through it. It's long. It's long. It's tough. It's tough. Now, Yooka-Laylee, I'm looking forward to, and I'm still looking forward to it. If Total Biscuit got cut from a game because of his viewpoints or whatever, I'd still maybe play the game. You know, I wouldn't necessarily, you know, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with Total Biscuit if he were to say something and then his, you know, it's okay to agree with JonTron. It's still okay to disagree with JonTron. The whole point that I was trying to address is that the smart move business-wise? I don't think so. And not even just, I'm again, not defending what he said. I feel like I'm reiterating just what I said. It's just, I guess if that's worth it for Platonics, if that's worth it for them. Is it Platonics? I can't remember the name of it. I think it's Platonics. This is really bad. Yeah, Platonics. Yeah, Platonic. There we go. I think it's worth it. If it's worth it for Platonic, then okay. If it's worth it for them to push that message, then okay. Yeah. We'll see how much it affects their sales of the game. That's really where it's going to hit it. That's really what's going to tell them, we should have done this. We should have done this. I don't think it's going to affect my decision one way or another. Again, I'm not a fan of him. I don't dislike him. I don't like him. I feel like I'm just standing here as a neutral party. I did know about the JonTron stuff for the last 2 months. I don't want to talk about it on the channel here anyway. I would rather, if you want to talk about it in Twitter DMs, you want to talk about it in email, you want to talk about it in the comment section, I'll talk about it there. I think it's much better in that aspect to come at it from a more reasonable standpoint and be able to do research before you say anything stupid and you end up with your foot in your mouth like JonTron has. So I don't know. I don't know, though. I don't know if he's necessarily ashamed of the things he said. I don't necessarily think that... I will say this. I don't think he said anything like, you know, nothing like the PewDiePie thing where it was like, you know, a rather, you know, racist, sexist, homophobic, anti-Semitic. He never said anything like that. That I've seen so far. He hasn't directly said anything about that. He may have alluded to some things, some other things that but I don't agree with those things. Actually, I can't say one way or the other because I haven't said what those things are or not. I don't want to say what those things are. I've been purposely trying to avoid mentioning specific things that he's talking about. That's by design, okay? I'm just going to say I agree with him on the positive or negative, so that way I can't be misconstrued. I'm being vague, yes, but again, I don't want it on the channel. So, see, this is where it gets weird. Got muddy today. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'm gonna go cry and hug a Togepi until this all goes away. Please let Yooka-Laylee go back to normal. Please let Yooka-Laylee go back to normal. Don't screw up Yooka-Laylee for me, please. Actually, if Yooka-Laylee fails, I still got Snake Pass. That looks good. That's coming out next week too. I want a 3D platformer. That's what I want. Oh, geez. Social media links are over here. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. I got like 4 people telling me I'm old yesterday. Who told you to do that? Don't do that. That's mean. Don't call me old. I'm young. I'm hip. I'm still cool. And by hip, I mean I need a new hip. I don't remember what yesterday's episode was about. I'm trying to remember this, why I'm stalling. So click over here to subscribe. Click over here for yesterday's episode, which I tried to remind myself about before I did this, but oh well. Bye. Play some games. Have a good weekend. Bye.